Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and I know you're expecting decks for the new cards, but that's actually going to be our second video of today. We're doing two videos. They spoil the OTA that's coming out this Thursday, and two more cards that are coming out either today at Reset or Thursday at Reset would be my guess, so we have to talk about those, right? There's two cards that are coming out this week that we had no idea about, and there's an OTA. The reason we have to talk about the OTA so quickly is that there is a major tournament in Marvel Snap happening this Saturday and Sunday. The Golden Gauntlet 2 is happening, and we want to make sure that you're up to date so you can choose your decks wisely. So the first change is Infinity Ultron was reworked. Instead of being a 5/8, he's back to being a 5/6, but the stones are now all twos. The Power Stone, the double one, is now a 2/1. The drone one, also a 2/1, which means you'll get a 7 power drone, a 7 power, sorry, 6 power drone, 7 power in that lane, and you get reality. Time, the one that pulls from hand, is a 2/3, largely as a concession to that you can pull some poopy. Space Stone is a 2/5. That's the move one. The move one is terrible, so getting some actual stats on that is nice. The Soul Stone is now a 2/2, +2 full, and that is kind of crap. And then the Mind Stone is the double on reveal is also a 2/2. So I think that this is a really, really important redesign. I still think a few of the stones suck. I still think like the Soul Stone is really, really kind of crap. The other stones are actually really good. Quinjet making them one cost makes them incredibly easy to fit into a curve. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't a Victoria Hand version of this list that runs Quinjet at this point. I think that that is just going to be a clearly good deck. This does separate him from Surfer, and I know there are a lot of people running him with Luna and Surfer and shenanigans that way, but we have a new card, Jennifer Kale, that lets us ramp into him or in a new way, so we have multiple extra options to ramp into Infinity Ultron and lots of power we can get from it. I think that this is going to be a very good card, and this is what I think a really good deck looks like for him. This is our friend Cougar's Agamotto Ultron list. I decided to add Merlin to it. Basically, our idea here is that we're going to use the Quinjet to make the Infinity Ultron stuff extra useful. We've got Surge and we've got the Bolts of Balthak, and we've got Luna as ways to ramp into Infinity Ultron, those stones all costing 1. I should be able to put out a ton of very unpredictable power between the Infinity Ultron, the Agamotto spells, the Gwenpool, the Galacta, and so on, and I think that that is enough to really bring this deck back to the meta. I think that this is going to be a meta deck. I think it was close to a meta deck. Cougar had a lot of success with this last season, but I think that this is fundamentally going to be an excellent and meta deck the second Infinity Ultron comes out. I keep debating. I really, really want to put Collector in this, but I don't think he's worth it for just Iron Patriot, Merlin, and Infinity Ultron. But he's so close to just like being Loki-esque good in a whole lot of decks. I think that Infinity Ultron is again going to be very good. This is the biggest change, in my opinion, of this OTA coming Thursday. We also finally fixed Giganto. He goes from a 6/14 to a 6/16. That's huge. He has two decks he goes in. This is a really solid buff to Hela. Hela really desperately needed to hit Infinite before. Now having Giganto as fundamentally just so big, as like almost as big. 16 is so much more than 14 in Snap. 14 is a lot more than 12. Those extra 2 ups are really important. So this being an extra buff for Hela is great. It's also a great buff for Red Wing decks. In particular, the Thursday Red Wing deck from our friend Toxic Soul King is one of my favorite decks in Marvel Snap. It's one of the most successful decks ever in Marvel Snap. The Cloak Craven version, but even so, Giganto as a 6/16 in this list is wildly strong. Fundamentally, you would want to get a big Red Hulk, a big Giganto, whatever, and like you're trying to use Surge to ramp out that Giganto or Red Hulk. Well, now when all these things happen, you're just getting so much more power, and a lot of the games this deck loses are just like a quick power here or there. I think that this is going to be great. Giganto's going to be great in Hela. I don't think it probably goes anywhere else, maybe like a good machine list, but 16 is a ton. That's 4 more power. That's the, like, think about it this way. That's the difference between your standard 5/8, right? Like your Misery and a Magneto. That feels like a ridiculously huge difference, right? So Giganto having that power difference over your 12s is huge. I think that this list is even better, one of the best lists in the game that no one ever talks about. And here's a change I don't really care about. Omega Red becomes a 4/6. This is, I would guess, 4 Cerebro 6, because Omega Red doesn't matter. Yes, he should have 1 more power. He should not be a 4/7. He should absolutely be a 4/6, so that he has potential use, but he's still just outpowered by basically everything. We have the chance of a Cerebro 6 list. Cerebro 6 is like almost there, so I threw him into the Cerebro 6 Hella list. I don't know. This seems like it's probably not very good to me, but it is a thing you can do. Um, It helps me run fewer cheap things too, which is of reasonable use. I had to keep Hellcow. I want to get Hellcow. I have to keep Iron Lad because I have too many things to hit. But our basic goal here is discard some stuff, play Hella because you have so much power. Omega Red comes back in a lane that you're winning, and it gives you an extra 3 power in other lanes, and that's got a lot of uses, right? I don't know. I don't think this is very good, but I do think that it is a fun change that gives us something new to play with, and I'm always happy for those changes. From here, we go to Suji. It is Super Giant, finally a 4/7. And this, much like the previous Cerebro buff, I think is going to be a mistake. Supergiant is a very powerful card. Its stats keep it a little bit in check. It really, really wants Prio. Making it a 4/7 helps it gain Prio on those turns. I think that this is always going to be a borderline very unfun card for the meta, and thus I thought that's why they were keeping it a 4/5. Making it a 4/7, I could easily see this being too much and sort of becoming a problem. I hope I'm wrong, but who knows? At this point, obviously the OTA hasn't come out for a couple days, but this is, again, like Supergiant is such a strong card. Her ability is so frustrating to play against. If she's good, I think the meta generally becomes less fun. The deck that I think is generally best with her is the Toxic Soul King version. Yay, more Toxic Soul King. So Toxic Soul King has this sort of affliction Supergiant list that he likes to use, and I think it's still really, really good here. You don't have to sort of reveal that you're doing Supergiant shenanigans with this list. Gorgon probably becomes one of the other new cards that's more powerful right now, right? Gorgon becomes one of the like a whatchamacallit, a Surge or something, and you're totally fine. But outside of that, this list should be crazy strong. Just like you're basically using Negasonic, Hazmat, Rocket Groot, Echo to like slam opponents when they're not ready. There's nothing they can do about it thanks to Supergiant and um Daredevil, assuming you know the meta. And you just want priority, right? Like you want priority or if you want to throw priority in order to hazmat everything, either of those are so easy to accomplish with this deck. This one is an absolute monster. I think this deck is a beast, and it is one that I urge you to look at once Super Giants change actually happens. Having two 4/7s is just genuinely really, really big. Before we go further, and that's the whole OTA, we're going to talk about the other surprise new cards, and I'll explain what happened. First, hit that sub, like, and comment. Don't miss the second video where I'm going to run you through the best decks for all of the new cards. The best day one decks for all of the new cards will be the second video today. So make sure you sub, like, and comment, and ring that notification bell. We also will be going live on twitch.tv/postglazer tonight at 8:30 to go over the full new season, including all the new cards, with our guest, the Pirate King Tucker. So please stop by for that. If you'd like to win a season pass, you can win a free Merlin on this video. We're going to announce 2 Merlin winners on the second video of the day, another reason to ring that notification bell, but we are also going to give away one on this video. So please leave an OTA review. What do you think of this sort of smaller OTA when we know there's not going to be another OTA and we know there's a tournament this weekend? How do all these things integrate into your thoughts about the OTA? Next up, we've got Hellion. Hellion is okay. So first, let's talk before Hellion. Let's talk about what happened. So if you didn't, there was a patch yesterday. You might know that. You might not know that. There was a patch, and if you didn't update that patch, you were able to buy Hellion and Mercury. If you did update the patch, you can get the intended cards of Jennifer Kale and hold up, Nicholas Scratch. They didn't intend to release Hellion and Mercury, but someone apparently didn't realize that the game doesn't force update, and if you didn't update, then all of a sudden you can buy these other cards. You could not play them once you updated the patch, but if you didn't update the patch, you could absolutely use these cards, which was this incredibly powerful and useful thing to do. So far, so good. So what they've decided is, some people bought these cards already, right? So what they've decided is, sometime in the next couple days, either I would guess either today or tomorrow at reset, they're going to just put these in the Series 4 packs. So if you're looking for these cards, and you've updated your game, just either today at reset or tomorrow at reset, check your Series 4 packs. They will be there. Which means this week we've got this week alone we've got 6 new cards. We've got a full season's worth of cards in the season, and the first of those is Hellion, who I think is incredible. On reveal next turn, you can move cards to this location. I think Hellion's nuts. Genuinely a phenomenal and stellar card. This deck, straight up telling you this right now, is going to want Mercury. We're going to figure out how to put Mercury in this. I don't know exactly how to put it, but for the time being, it's going to be incredible. So a lot of what I have trouble with in this Scream Hellion list, right? Oh, it should also be running whatchamacallit, Hydra Stomper. Hydra Stomper should be Red Guardian. Sorry, I threw this together a little too quickly as I was trying to rush things. But what Hellion does is I can play Hellion on turn 5 in whatever location, and then I can move Craven and two other cards there, getting myself an even bigger Craven. I can move Craven, Sam, and the Shield there, getting myself an even bigger Craven and just having this big unmatchable lane, and then I can win another lane with Cannonball. I also can like Hellion is a one-sided cloak that is so powerful. So let's talk about some Marvel Snap theory. Let's look at this card and talk about some Marvel Snap theory. You don't like you have some destruction cards in Marvel Snap, but the way you really kill cards in Marvel Snap is making their power useless. Any power that's in an opponent's lane that is wasted is you killing that card. That card's ability might still give it some value, right? But that card's power is now killed because you have won that lane. Understand? You getting ahead on that lane fundamentally, like, or going so strong in that lane fundamentally wins you that game, right? So your opponent commits early, commits wherever, and they think that they've fundamentally won that lane. All the power you've played in that lane is now useless or dead. You play Hellion. All the power that was in that dead lane is now in a different lane that you can compete in and win unexpectedly. And the opponent cannot move their cards like they can with Cloak. So they can't compete in that way. You get that extra bonus. And because this is a move, you also get the extra bonus from Craven. You also get the extra bonus for having Hydra Stomper. You also get the cheap Miles Morales. You get the a Batrock move if you leave an extra space in there. You get all this extra benefit of that move, and there's nothing your opponent can do about it. Hellion's going to be an absolutely incredible card, and then once you've won that Hellion lane, Cannonball is the best single lane winner in Marvel Snap, and thus you win the game. I think that this is going to be wildly strong, and I'm so freaking excited to play it. Our other card might be even better than Hellion. It is Mercury. You can move this once, ongoing, enemy cards here can't move. Holy shit. Holy shit. All right. So, first of all, just being able to say your opponent's cards are stuck there is absolutely incredibly useful. One of the most powerful packages in the game right now, one of the most powerful packages in all of Marvel Snap is the Sam Wilson package that we saw in that previous deck. That runs Sam Wilson, that runs all these cards. You put Mercury in that deck, and all of a sudden you're good to go. You've completely or against that deck, and all of a sudden you're good to go. It's completely shut those down. There's two other cards that this absolutely loves. This is really great at countering Hellion, yes, but like that's not the point. What this really wants to do is this card absolutely well, okay, there's so many things. This card absolutely rocks with Cannonball. Cannonball says if the card can't move, it gets destroyed. If cards can't move from here, Cannonball is just straight up a 5/8 destroy their highest power card. Better Shang-Chi? Yes, please. So Mercury does that, but it also, like, if you're playing move, if you're playing bounce move, and Mercury becomes part of the meta, this card is your nightmare. This is like what people think Scream is against move, but Scream's not actually that great against move. This rocks that. And if your opponent's playing a Scream deck and you have this, and you can play this against the Scream deck, you can really mess with them that way. And it can move. I think this is genuinely one of the best cards in Marvel Snap. I think Hellion's incredible. That they're releasing these two cards as Series 4 is like. These cards are like better than Morgan Le Fay. I think these might end up being two of the like 3 to 5 best cards of the season. It wouldn't shock me if Mercury ends up one of the best cards in the game and ends up having to be nerfed. Holy crap. So Philly did not update the game and did not realize what was happening, so he bought Mercury and got a million cubes playing this Mercury list. Cool. What does this Mercury list do? So what you want to do fundamentally is get Mercury in a Gene a lane. Your opponent now, when they play there, cannot move cards away from there. They have to play there, so they're stuck. If you then play Goose in that lane, you are a total jerk. So Goose means that they can't play their expensive stuff there. They have to play all their cheap stuff, and they can't play expensive stuff. So you want to drop Goose around turn 5 in that lane. Plus, you have War Machine. And because you have War Machine, you can play wherever the hell you want. You're not worried about Goose. You're not worried about Mercury. You're just fine doing whatever you want. From there, like we've got the Cannonball with Mercury combo, and then we're just running sort of stuff that goes well with War Machine. What goes well with War Machine, you might ask? Well, Ebony Maw and Infinite go well with War Machine. Oh, well, War Machine's also an ongoing, so we can run the Sam Captain America combo. Goose is an ongoing, Jean's an ongoing, Cosmo's an ongoing. Okay, so let's throw Spectrum in as some top end. This is so strong. You've never seen this deck before today, right? Like, this is not a deck that really existed in Marvel Snap. It exists now. Get used to it. Either Mercury comes out later today or tomorrow, and when this card comes out, assuming that they can figure it out, it's possible there's technical issues, right? But outside of that, when this card comes out, get yourself ready. Welcome to a extremely different meta where move is now in a very different position, where Hellion means you have to have a whole different set of considerations, plus all the stuff Merlin does for locations and clog and extra energy and nonsense. I think that this is a wild change to Marvel Snap. This is probably the biggest change to the game we've had since they buffed Thanos to high heaven. So welcome to a brand new meta. This is so exciting. And this is happening before the tournament. Start getting testing in now. Start figuring out and planning for these cards now, or you are in trouble. Go. Yeah. This is awesome. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks. Check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. Don't forget to check that out. And stop back later for some awesome excuse me. And check back later for some awesome second video with 4 brand new decks, one for each of the new cards. Although let me tell you, Nicholas Scratch sucks. So 3 of the new cards will have really great decks, and one of the new cards will have a really good deck where Nicholas Scratch should be cut. That's what we're gonna do. So check out our Patreon, and then we got to say thank you to our patrons. Bricks to Click, our patron of the month. Abigail Heason, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, LAB, Inc., Iron Frostman, Hota, Neverete, Thinking Poker, Prime Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Snap, Ren Wrench, Caretix Lee, Koirei, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Profos, The Goat, Code, Hallowed, Only Fox, Synth, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extra Sweet and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Mr. Slush Death, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kelsey Hoda, Ludacris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, M. Hall, and David G. Wingfield, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V., Corey, Corwin, John Q., and Jimmy McHugh. Down, you stopped, East Stage, One Big Man. Thank you for stopping by, One Big Man. Milkman for Reels, Cactus Jack, Reaper, BG, Yo Marco, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe. Check me out on the Snap Decisions podcast this week, by the way. It was a Monday. Dick Carlo, 220, Models, Mod Supreme, Bickety Boom Bot, Green Goblin, Unibot V2, Flan 56, The Spectrum, Hoot, Ocularis, Matt H, TJ, Mikey Magic, No Frickin' Flex, Nick, Doug, Greek Geek, Toxic Soul King, Sodrax, the King of Canada, JJ, Den Man, Falcon, Thor Newman, Jonesy, Snap, Two Ties, The Great Learners, The Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T with his T stands for second video, y'all. Don't miss it. Don't miss these new cards and make sure you've updated the game, and then you can go get like these incredible new cards as soon as they come out for everyone. Get ready for a freaking meta shakeup. So excited for this. So excited for Infinity Ultron. Hope to see you later today. Peace.